Boulevard. I'm going to say it maybe 3 times so you can hear me. Impact fees. Impact fees. Impact fees. My question is, if we extend this 24 months, just the impact fees that we have coincide for the 387 homes that they're building. For example, our impact fees are $1,765. So with 387 homes being built, that's a total of $683,055. If we were comparable to the number one county in our great state of Georgia, which is Forsyth County, their impact fees are about $6,500. That's why they have nice parks, nice roads, and it's clean and have great schools. Okay, now if we were to increase our impact fees, not even to $6,500, but to $5,000, we would, this particular project would raise $1,900,335,000, okay?
Ma'am, let me stop you for a second. Are you in favor of this deal?
I'm opposed.
You're opposed to this?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And I'll give you the reason why I'm opposed. Okay? Because that's the reason why developers come into our county, because our impact fees are the lowest. There's 159 counties in Georgia. We are one of the lowest regarding impact fees. And also, our county has misused our impact fees for the last decade. Since this project is in District 3, all of those impact fees should be used in District 3. And impact fees are broken up into 4 categories: roads, libraries, our police, and other things. Now, I have open records requests. I haven't for the last decade, and our developers have not, the developers have paid them, but the county managers have not distributed those impact fees to the correct districts. They put it all in general fund and say, this is how we're going to spend it. That's why certain districts lack certain things, because the money hasn't been used. So my question is to them, with the moratorium, can we increase our impact fees and make this developer pay for those impact fees because of the amount of people they're going to bring into that particular district, the strain on our roads, the strain on our schools, the strain on our police, the strain on our fire departments. That's where those impact fees go. Okay? So we don't mind the building, but increase our impact fees so we can give the people what they need, which is so our police officers can have great salaries, and our schools can have what they need. We can pay our teachers and everyone, and then our county workers, they can have benefits and health care. That's all I have to say. Impact fees, impact fees, impact fees, impact fees, impact fees, and impact fees.
Who else will speak in opposition? State your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Percia Hodge. I'm also a 15-year resident in Lee County, the board secretary of Silver Ridge Farms, with Rich This Development will be my next door neighbor. 387 lots. I ask you guys to deny 4 times for those 4 months. Deny the extension. And by the way, Carroll Dodge Road realignment is not almost done. I drive it every single day to and from my subdivision. Thank you.
State your name and address for the record, please.
Carolyn Woodward, Broadway Subdivision, District 3. As far as the promotions that are going on here, we talked in the last zoning meetings, and I want you guys to hear very clearly. We want a moratorium. Just because there's 300 and some odd units going in here doesn't mean that there's only 2 cars per unit. These are not family-friendly homes. These are not for children. So you can imagine 4 adults living in each unit very easily, especially since we've got multi-generational problems going on. We haven't even talked about what these are going to be renting for. But we said we want single-family homes. We want homes on 1 acre or more. We need homes for our young families that they need a dog, and a place for a dog to roam and their kids to play. We already did assessments based on the last conglomeration, we give you a 2-year extension. You're already sitting here beating us on the head saying, well, you said back in June 2 years ago that it was okay. Well, 2 years ago was 2 years ago. A lot of water has gone onto this bridge. There are so many projects in the pipeline right now that we as citizens can't even keep up, okay? So I have to come here because I don't get a full agenda anytime, even though I've requested it multiple times. We get a skeleton agenda, and that's not enough for me to do my investigation. But I'll be here every time to tell you no more bloat, no more multifamily housing, no more condos, no more apartments, no 15-minute cities. We're on to it, and we say no. I don't care what Kemp says. I don't care what any of y'all say. We live here. We don't live off Ponce de Leon. We live here. I am going to be your neighbor if you allow me to build.
It's Sandra Hines, 3rd Street, Silver Ridge Farms subdivision president, okay? We want you to deny it. If you don't live over here where we're living right now, it's traffic, we don't have enough police, we don't have enough public service, we don't have it. It's horrible, okay? But you have all these builders coming in, and my main thing that I need for you guys to understand, where's the moratorium? When are we going to look at the zoning? When are we going to revisit the zoning, to change the zoning? Because that is the major problem here, okay? We have zoning that should have been changed years ago because of the population change here. So my vote, your vote should be no to extend this. They had enough time. He's talking about 2 years? No, it's time. Time is up, okay? Please vote no.
Thank you.
District 3, been a resident for a long time. I again say no, no, no.
Thank you. Anyone else want to speak in opposition?
Good evening, Marie Neely Manor. I just want to say no. Once again, the school's overcrowding, traffic, there are new developments being built currently. So even if a traffic study was done, it's already behind because even by Newton High School, we have 217 apartments going up. So this is the last thing that we need. And you have to also remember that that road won't be updated, Crowell Road won't be updated until 2040. So that's going to have a major impact on traffic. So please vote this down. It's a no. The people here don't want it. And the fact that they're telling us that this park is going to be benefiting us, if we're saying we don't want it, we don't want it. So it's a no for me.
Thank you.
Kim Young, Troll Road. I live right down the street from Dobbs. When we did the overlay years ago, the overlay, we were under the impression at that time that the water on Dobbs property, you had to be so many feet away from streams and the ponds and everything. And we were informed that probably not even half of the property was buildable because of the stream. So we're gonna block them up, we're gonna dam them up. We've seen the mess that they're doing with Harold Dobbs. I don't know how many culverts they've replaced because they blow them out every time we have a flood. That's a floodplain area. You know, we don't want the houses. We don't want the apartments. My husband sat out the other day on Crow Road, 10 minutes, 225 cars, 10 minutes. Nobody's done a traffic study. You know, I drive it every day. There's been no traffic study when I came down 36 tonight. That's the first traffic study things across the road that I've seen. Nobody's done a traffic study. So we don't need any more of this. You know, I agree back to the acre lots. I say no to approving the extension because it's going to be a disaster. We're going to have another flood like we had in 90-something where it flooded over Kroll Road. Those people will be underwater because they have rerouted the water with this rerouting of the access road, with this rerouting of Harold Dobbs. It's going to be happening.
Anyone else want to speak in opposition? We have 1 minute and 55 seconds.
Dave Norton, Newton, Georgia. I live in District 1. I don't live anywhere near this project. But in the county manager's report, he stated the population, since the 2020 census, the population had grown almost 8,000. This, it's been in the works for 2 years, the 24-month is up. It's not the county's fault that Army Corps of Engineers or whoever else took their time in giving their approvals. A lot can change in that 2 years. This process needs to start over so that it can be reviewed on today's circumstances. I'm opposed. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else want to speak in opposition? You have 1 minute, 13 seconds.
Halima Muhammad, Porterville, Georgia. I just want everyone to know that please check with the Department of Sewage and Water. They are doing a study, and we want to make sure that we are not going to be over capacity with this development. Okay?
Thank you. Anyone else want to speak in opposition? That portion of our meeting is closed. We have rebuttal time if that's needed. 3 minutes and 44 seconds, almost 3:45 almost.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. Just a couple of things, just to make sure that we're crystal clear about the mission of the board for this particular issue. The mission is not to revisit the wisdom of the project's existence. The property has been zoned for the project. The property has been zoned for the project. And, more importantly, there's been a preliminary plat approval for the project. Neither of those go away. So this is simply a question of whether we waste the county's time going back to the drawing board and doing the exact same thing over. That's the only question that's before the board. It's not whether the project happens or not. The zoning is in place, the rights are vested in the zoning, the rights are vested in the plat. The county, all of the agencies have tested the plan for this project against the code. That's their job, is to test it against the UDO to make sure that it complies, technically, legally, in every other way, and they've all said that it does. So the narrow question for the board is just whether they have to go back and start the planning process again, or, which is going to be a waste of everybody's time and money. It's not going to be a question of whether the project happens, because all of the rights in the owner have vested in this point. As for, I think it's a very valid point to ask whether there's sufficient capacity for water and sewer. I would want to know that also. And the county's department, I should not say the county, but the Newton County Water and Sewer Authority have signed off on this to confirm that there is sufficient capacity for sewer and for provision of water. That's been signed off. I completely agree with the concern about traffic. I would be concerned about traffic also. But the Department of Transportation for the county has reviewed this project and the density and all the uses and has signed off on it. So we're not in a zoning hearing as if we were considering whether to rezone a piece of blank bad dirt into a dense residential mixed-use project. That's not what this hearing is. All of that has been done, and those rights have all vested in the property owner at this point. So the only question is whether we get on with it or we redo what's already been done. And that takes up this Applewaite's department's time, all of the county manager's report's time, going back through the process again, which doesn't get anyone nor address any of the concerns that you've heard. It won't address a single one. None of them. Other than spending everybody's money on doing this. So that's why I said that the barometer to be applied here is common sense more than it is anything else. If we were here for a rezoning, different question. Completely different question. And I will be saying a completely different team. But that's not what we have in front of you. The Planning Commission denied this extension because the applicant wasn't here, because he was dealing with a family medical emergency, and because the Corps hadn't provided its approval yet. He's here, and the Corps approved it, as has every other external and internal agency of the county. All have said yes, and the project is shovel ready as we sit here today. for 24 months, which again is just to go from LDP issuance, pre-com meeting to submission of the final plat. That's all that's going to be done in that time frame. If you think that that is excessive, I'm sure that
Thank you, that concludes our hearing.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair.
Thank you.
On this appeal, before the extension, what amount of time they had before, to appeal the case? No, not to appeal the case. Once the applicant submits their application, and it was approved, because they're asking for, first they asked for 12 months, because when they went to planning and zoning, it was 12. Now it's before us, it's 24. They're asking for an extension. What is the amount of time they have before the extension came about? Right, being clear?
I'm not sure I understand it.
Okay, they're asking for an extension, correct, as far as the plat, am I correct? What is the normal time before asking for an extension?
They have to ask for an extension usually before the plat expires. So the plat expired on 7/26. They went to the planning commission in June, 6/25.
So they have how much time before it expired on 7/26? You said it expired on 7/26?
Yeah, it was set to expire on July 26th, and with them knowing that, they went to the planning commission in June 25th, to apply for the extension of the plat.
I understand that. So how much amount of time they had before the expiration date, the original expiration date?
Preliminary
A year, 2 years?
Yes, preliminary plats expired 24 months after the date is issued.
So they already had 24 months.
Yes, the July 25th would have been their 24, the July 26th is the 24-month mark.
So that was my question, is how much time they had before applying for an extension, which tells me she answered that question, they already had 2 years to get this information in, am I correct?
2 years to get the final plat approved.
Right, and that's what they're asking
So
for. an extension.
typically, yes, once the division see that their expiration date is approaching, they'll approach the planning department to request an extension, and that's what goes before the planning commission.
And how many members of the planning commission were available on that day to vote the denial? Was it all 5?
I do not have that record in front of me.
We don't have
I'm sure it's in there. 1 second. It was a motion 5-0.
So 5 planning commissioners representing all districts denied.
Yes, it was, what was 5-0 towards?
My next question is, if the Board of Commissioners deny it today, what is the next process for this applicant?
So yeah, the board would just make final decisions, and my understanding is that they would have to take the appeal to the Supreme Court. And it was just such a
Well, I'm going to make a motion. I'm going to go with the people, the 5 members of the planning commission that denied application, agenda item APP 24-00005.
We have a motion?
We'll have a second.
We have a motion and a second to deny. Is that correct, Ms. Sanders?
Yes, sir.
Any discussion? I have a question, Ms. Applewhite. So, the yes or no to this appeal, it will not impact what is able to, if they go through another 24 months, will our decision not impact what eventually is able to be built there?
So you say if we're approved tonight?
If approved or denied,
Okay.
the zone, from what I understand, the zoning is in place, and eventually they can build whatever they want, whether we say yes or no tonight, and that's right.
It is a by right subdivision. So they have the requirements of the ordinance. And it just depends on what the decision is tonight, whether they start over or whether they, advance with it. But it is a by right subdivision, yes, sir.
Any more discussion? All in favor of the denial? All opposed? agenda, on the hearing agenda, it will not require a hearing, if I'm correct. Ms. Applewhite, item number 2.
Yes, this is a resolution.
Inform citizens if they want to know the information. We have a capacity crowd here today. Patrick, do you have any insight on that in terms of the agenda and things like that?
I can't speak to why it's done the way it's done today, or how, when that began, or what the decision-making process was. I can tell you it's, among local governments, there's probably a fairly even split among those who provide the full agenda packet to public on public portal or online, and those that only provide the agenda. I think it's, as much as anything else, it is a workflow decision to be made, and probably how much capacity your website, how much information can you push out through your website. I don't know what about.
And in addition to that, the bandwidth that we have in terms of the workforce. I mean, if we look at our first office, it's essentially 2 people with no support staff. So, I don't, there's no precedent that says it.
Well, basically it's a PDF file, so it's uploading the same way it's uploading the agenda, so it should be an extension out. It's a PDF file. But I was just wondering, was it something in regards to legalities or so now I found it's not a legal issue that we can just upload the documents online. My other question was in regards to the youth commission. I know we kind of spoke on this through the commissions, but are we going to make an announcement to the public, because it's not on the county page, nor to go through the county media, that we have opened the application for the youth commission? So when will that be done? Because I don't have an actual flyer, because I know you told me I can submit that to people, but I don't have a flyer to give them that has our construction information.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, last year it wasn't like we had flyers or anything.
We did have a flyer last year.
I think you created a flyer.
No, I didn't.
But if we did, that's fine. But again, you have the link, and you know the children and the citizens who are interested in it, but that's not a problem. We can create a flyer and get it out on our distribution. That's not a problem.
Yeah, because I wasn't voted in as communication, so that's why I was saying that's part of the communication part. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Mr. Henderson.
I just want to finish the end of the conversation concerning federal chemicals. And I think we stopped off on it. I think you said it.
Mr. Henderson, hold on 1 second. Can we keep the mumbling down, because I have ADD. I have a hard enough time paying attention as it is. Please stop talking. People want you to go be taken out of here. Thank you. Mr. Henderson, go ahead.
It looks like the federal chemicals at William Street. I've been a former city Covington employee for about 24 years. I knew that William Street, mostly state water was sent to the city of Covington, because I remember at the one of the meetings that you attended, and so my good friend was Peter Baggett and Mike Hopkins and etc. Some more people came and said, well, don't worry about it, it's just a little bit. And but there should be in our water system. And I think we should have a regular update as far as the PFAS that's in our system. It doesn't cost signature, it does cost cancer, it does stuff. And for it to be in our water system, at least. Now, I know we're going to close it down, as we're hoping, William Street, but it hasn't been closed down. And there is some PFAS in the water. And the people need to know. And one last thing I just want to say, definitely that probably for I was born, and I'm of an age myself. So how many years?
Happy belated birthday, by the way.
Well, thank you. So how many years have that been in our water system? And it's been released for the citizens in the county, those who may want to test whether the PFAS coming out of bottled water we drink or from actual water system that we have in the county. It should be a test of them so they can kind of monitor their blood system. system and see how much is in there, because if you listen to any report or any TV station, the information you can dial up on the web, it tells you that it's been out there and nobody really even talking about it. And so, we need to know, people need to know, and as soon as we can get that, all of it out of our water system, they need to know that too. So that's why I had asked for last week a regular report from the county manager, from the county manager, James Brown, that we have a regular report as far as seeing where we're at, as far as the amount of PFAS or trillion or however it's in our water system, so that people know.
Understood, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners. So let me just say, Mr. Cooper, that a monthly report giving us our average levels and the progress on decommissioning William Street, and then our levels relative to maybe a couple other states, and then let's move forward with a report like that if we can. At the request of Commissioner Henderson, let's see if we can just have something monthly in our packet. Maybe it doesn't have to be addressed every meeting, but it can be in our packet so we can at least see. Yes.
Excuse me, just want to say quick. It's in the state of Georgia. It's not in another state. It's here. And a lot of counties are experiencing the same thing, and they are talking about it in reports on it, so that the citizens will know. That's all.
Thank you. All right, that moves us to item number 7. We have no unfinished business. It's just item number 8 is the consent agenda minus items that which 8B, which is now 9A, and item 8D, which is now item 9B. So with that, I seek a motion to approve the consent agenda. I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Thank you. All right, that takes us to 9A. Discussion of the Newton County American League appropriation. And we have my copy.